Please don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for future videos. Thank you.
Hey, what's up guys, Houston here, and for those of you just finding my YouTube channel, welcome. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell. Now again, today we're talking about the child tax credit and the updates, okay? And so what's happening with the IRS, what they're saying is where they're supposed to start sending out checks in July, okay? But they said it may be a delay, all right? Not saying you won't get that monthly child tax credit, but they're saying it may be a delay on it. So that's one of the things you have to understand. Now, let's really talk about who's going to actually benefit from this child tax credit. Okay, let's break it down. So you have single filers. So if you're making $75,000 or less, okay, you're going to get full amount, okay? So if you're single, you're making less than $75,000, you have a kid, you're going to get the full amount. So that means that, say, Nene, okay, Nene, she works at McDonald's, all right? But Nene got 3 kids, okay? So all the Nene kids is under the age of 5. So she got 3 kids under the age of 5. So what'll happen is Nene is going to be getting $3,600 per kid. So that's how much Nene is going to be getting, all right? So that's what I mean. Now let's talk about not single filers, but let's go into head of household. So you need to understand this and why I'm breaking this down like this. Now with the head of household, it's $112,000 or less, okay? Now if you go over that $112,000, what it'll do, it'll start phasing out for the amount of child tax credit check that you'll receive every month, as well as with this $75,000. So that doesn't mean that you won't get any credit, child tax credit check every month for your child. It just means that you'll be getting less. But if you make 112 head of household or less, you're going to get the full amount, just as well as we used at the situation with Nene, okay? So now let's talk about married couples. And this is an interesting situation, and I'll explain that in a minute. So with the married couples, it's $150K or less, okay? It's $150K or less. Now, here's the thing about it. What if you're married and you're separated, right? You're married and you're separated. So who will get the money? That's an interesting situation. You're married and separated. Who's going to get the money? Okay, if you're separated, then in terms of whoever they deposited your last tax return in, that's who's going to get the money. So if it was on a joint bank account, then again, both of you all are entitled. But if you're separated, you had separate bank accounts, but when you filed jointly, but still had separate bank accounts. So whoever last bank information they received, that's who's actually going to get the money, okay? Now, here's something I want to tell you all. Say that you're a person on welfare, okay? Or you on Social Security benefits, all right? And you have, say you have 3 kids like Nene. So you're like, okay, well, do I qualify? Well, now here's the thing. Those people, because what happened is, like, people on welfare, people on Social Security, they have the kids, but because they don't have a job, then they'll let other people carry them on their taxes to get the tax break, and then they would pay them for that, right? So we know the game. But here's the thing about it. Guess what? Now that this new child tax credit, those people are going to get that extra money every month. So if you're on welfare, Social Security benefits and stuff, and you letting somebody else carry your kids on their taxes and stuff, well, you won't get that child tax credit. It would actually be the person that actually filed with your kid's Social Security number, okay? So, and I know that's messed up because you're the one that's struggling. You're the one that needs the money. So I got good news for you, okay? And this is what they're saying. The IRS is saying, okay, here's what you can do. If you're on welfare, you have kids, and you have, or you're receiving Social Security benefits, okay, you still file tax return. So you file a tax return. It has to be done by May 17th, okay? So that way, if you file a tax return, so for those of you that was considering letting somebody else file your taxes, file your kids on their taxes, tell them no, okay? The reason is because if you let them file your kids, then you will not get that money, okay? Right now I'm dealing with a client because she let her baby daddy always carry the kids and stuff, right? And so he files the taxes and stuff because he's trying to get caught up on child support. But here's the thing about it. This here money, this here child tax credit money, this isn't going to be taken from child support. Child support won't take this money. This is supposed to be monthly income, okay? So they're supposed to be protecting that, all right? But now here's the thing about it. What's going to end up happening, like I said, let's look at this situation here, all right? So they're married, they're separated and stuff, so he carries the kids and stuff. So he's always carrying the kids, right? So that stimulus money that he was getting, like, she doesn't see that, right? And that's not cool because that money, she the one that actually has the kids, but he's the one that's actually carrying them on the taxes. So she really don't get no benefit from that, even though she's supposed to get child support. But here's the thing about it. Even when you receive child support, but because you receive welfare food stamps, they actually take that money. So the parent actually don't see that money. The only money they see is from the welfare and food stamp, because that money that's supposed to go to child support is to make up for the amount of money that they're paying out to the parent. So, and I know it's complicated and it's a screwed up system because the parent with the child is the one that's actually suffering, okay? So now, looking at that, because, like I said, I've been on child support before. I paid my child support and stuff. And so, understanding how the system works, it is frustrating, and sometimes we may feel it's unfair to us or whatever. But the reality is the only person that actually hurts in this is the kid. Right? Because if you're not taking care of your kid, somebody else has to step in and make sure that they have food on the table and a roof over their head. That's the reason when I'm talking to guys about child support and stuff, I always encourage them to pay their child support. Besides, if you have child support reporting on your personal credit, guess what? It's a secured loan. It's a secured loan anyway, right? And because it's a secured loan, it makes your credit look good. That's the reason I keep telling people, if you pay child support on time, it's a secured loan that makes your credit look good, and that way you can get more credit. So don't avoid paying your child support, okay? Continue paying your child support. But back to talking about this child tax credit, like I said, for a lot of parents that are struggling and stuff like that, this is something that can really help them, right? And so I always encourage people, like I said, with the fellas in the community, I'm a real big advocate. Pay your child support. I don't care how much you don't like your baby mama. I don't care what your baby mama, so what your baby mama is with a new Ray Ray. We don't care. But what we do care about is making sure that our child knows that, hey, I am financially providing for you. And I'll tell you something else, guys. This is what the courts told me. Once you're on contract with the courts to pay the money to them, anything you do beyond that is actually a gift. It's a gift. So they can't count that as child support. So you going out and taking the kid school shopping and stuff, that's just a gift. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. That's just a gift. So you have to understand that. So whenever you say, well, I done took the kids school shopping, shouldn't that count toward child support? No, that will not count toward child support. Whatever is on the contract with the courts is what counts toward child support. So unless she makes a agreement with you, now she could make an agreement with you that, hey, I won't put you on legal child support as long as you agree to take care of your child, then I would tell you get it in writing. Because what happens is a lot of guys, I have nephews and stuff like that too, they got the baby mamas and stuff like that. And like I said, it was a situation where they had the baby mamas and I tell them, hey, go put yourself on child support. The reason is because you're not married to that woman, at any point she can get mad at you and go put you on child support. So it may be 3 years down the line. Well, guess what? 3 years down the line, she goes and puts you on child support and you show up in court, well, I've been taking care of the baby. You have no records of it. So in terms of the courts, well, you haven't been taking care of the baby, even though you have. So this is the situation we end up in because we don't want to do things the legal way. So that's the reason I tell people, hey, in terms of your child support, go to the courts, get signed up on child support, because especially if you're not married to her, or if you're not planning on marrying her, unless you actually get something in writing and notarize and agreeing that, hey, this is our agreement. I'm going to take, I actually had an NFL client. This is a true story. I had an NFL client, was getting ready to sign his contract. The baby mama, she falls up with an attorney wanting over 30% of all of his income from the NFL. How can you even do something like that? The baby was only like 6 months old and he's taking care of the baby. But again, having to go through arbitration and mediation and stuff, and like, look, just put yourself on child support, because I know a lot of athletes that got child support, past child support and stuff. They can't even get passports to go out of the country and stuff. It's very hard for them because they have past arrears child support and stuff like that. Okay, so this is reason I'm telling you this stuff. Not only did I go through it and stuff with the child support, like I said, I always paid my child support. You know, that's one thing I'm very adamant. I love taking care of my. As a matter of fact, my oldest is almost 24 years old and I'm still taking care of him. I wish he'd get a job, but that ain't the case. I'm still taking care of him. But at the same time, I love taking care of my kids. But I'm telling you, playing this game of you know, sometimes I'm gonna pay my child support, sometimes I'm gonna give her the money. Don't do that. If you got it on record, then just go through the courts. If you want to do something extra for the kids, then do something extra for the kids. But just know, by you doing something extra for the kids, if it's not in contract, it's only a gift. So it would not count toward child support. So you need to understand it. Now, let's get back and talk about this child tax credit, okay? So, like I said, for those of you that have kids that's been letting people carry your kids on the taxes and everything, this is what you need to do. Like I said, you need to file a tax return. I don't care if you didn't make any money, you need to file a tax return and make sure you put your kids' socials down on that tax return, right? So that you can actually qualify to get that monthly child tax credit, all right? Now, here's the good thing about it. Say that you're a foster parent, right? And you're getting paid through the state. Well, because you're actually housing that child and everything, you're taking care of that child, you also will qualify for that that child tax credit, okay? So this is things that you really should be talking to your attorney about, but so they can really understand the opportunity here for you. Now, let's go more into this. So here's what happened. With the child tax credit, it used to be $2,000, all right? But then they raised it up to $1,600. They increased it by $1,600, so that's where the $3,600 came in at. Also, I want to add to this, if you have a child in college and you're taking care of that child, if you're still taking care of that child, then you possibly will still also qualify for that child tax credit as well. Okay, it may not be as much, but you will qualify for that child tax credit. Now, let's understand, from the age of newborn up to 5 is $3,600, okay? And then from 6 to 17 is $3,000, okay? So now, like I said, if you have a kid that's in the household that's age of 18, that does not omit them from receiving the child tax credit if you're still taking care of them, but you may get less money, okay? So that doesn't omit them, but you will get less money, so keep that in mind, all right? So here's something else you have to also understand, and your kid, they have to actually stay with you 6 months. Long as that kid stays with you at least 6 months and you claim them, then you qualify for this child tax credit, okay? So which is good, because a lot of people, a lot of grandparents, they're taking care of their kids, right? They're taking care of their kids' kids and stuff like that, right? And they don't know that, hey, this child tax credit, you can claim that for your grandchildren. If you're taking care of your grandchildren, and then you can claim that if you're an aunt and you're taking care of your nieces and nephews and stuff like that, then you should be able to claim this as child tax credit if you're taking care of them for at least 6 months. And also, like I said, if you have any type of dependent, if they're on SSI and they're still your dependent and stuff like that, again, the IRS wants you to file your tax claim or whatever, and because you're actually taking care of them and they're dependent and they're under this here age range, then you still can claim them, okay, and get that child tax credit, all right? Now, here's something I do want you all to understand, that for many people, they really don't know, well, nobody's telling me anything. That's the reason I ask you all to please share my videos, share it with the community, because they need to know. You know, people are talking about it, but they're not explaining it to where we can understand it, or we can say, oh, okay, it is a possibility that I still can get approved or get this here child tax credit for my child, okay? But like I said, if for you people that are on welfare, food stamps, SSI, and you're letting other people use your kids for their taxes and stuff, I would not do that this year. I would actually file a tax, even if I'm filing 0, but making sure my kid's there so I can actually get that child credit, because if you don't, then they're going to actually be getting that money. So this is Houston with 3-Way Funding. I hope that this video helps you, and please remember to comment, like, and share. Thank you. So guys, I forgot to let you all know, in terms of, I know you was wondering why was I holding this here trophy. What happened is, when my son was in 6th grade, well actually he started in 4th grade, and I was coaching the school basketball team and everything, so he was playing and everything. So what happened, in the 6th grade, they won their first division title, right? And so again, I was the one that's mainly financially supporting the full basketball team and stuff. So actually, we are actually on one of my home court, to where I would have them come over and practice and everything when they couldn't practice at the school and everything. But this to me, as a father, this meant more to me, because I actually was there with my kid, walking him through the steps, looking at him train and stuff like that. So that's the reason that I was just showing this off, because it's important to me. Now again, for those of you just finding our YouTube videos, please don't forget to comment, like, and share. Thank you.